What's cracking? What's rolling, YouTube? It's your local Phantom Loc, aka Silk the Lokester, and this is keeping it 3100.
I see you folks clicking up, looking like you tough, acting like you banging now, nigga. Walk around with that flag out your pocket until the real come and asks what you claiming now, nigga. 1, 2, 3, oh shots from a loose cannon and it's blazing through your torso, nigga. 1, 2, 3, oh shots from a loose cannon and it's blazing through your doors now, nigga.
Yeah, nigga, that Loc is back. Come through your section, them shells rat-a-tat-tat. Cause what you banging, what you claim, you know what's up. If a person know, got that dagger exposing your fucking guts. Yeah, that blue been in me. Free my big cousin, cuz like me. Our gang's different, but we both bleed blue. Heart pump no Kool-Aid, them shots come through. I stay true blue, been true to that blue. Been true to the cause, so what about you?
For all those new to the channel, please like, comment, subscribe, and share. For everybody else, let's get into it. Today I'm about to do a reaction to this video that was sent to me by my G homie out Cali and all that. It's about OG Gumby saying that Big U dropped his flag behind the wall. So the link of the video is going to be on the bottom. So anyway, let's get right into it. Now, according to OG Gumby, for 15 years, he had his flag dropped and was claiming Muslim. All right. And, you know, in our community, in our culture, either I don't believe in it, but in generalization, in some places people do believe it, but if you drop your flag, that's basically it. There's no, like, you know, picking it back up or, like, basically your, whatever you identified yourself as and all, whatever people knew you as, that shit goes out the window and all that. But in reality, let's be real. Like I said, people don't forget, so, but anyway, that's what OG Gumby said from Hoover, that Big U dropped his flag and all that. Now, my reaction to it is this. Like I said before, people are not going to forget, and as you can see, the law is not going to forget. Once you identify yourself as whatever flag you're under and all that, and once you're on them papers as that, especially tied to a specific set, that shit sticks with you to the day you die. So, like I said, that whole dropping flag shit, that shit be blowing the fuck out of me, because, like, how? Especially if you put a lot of pain and dirt and all that shit behind that brand, behind that name, behind that set. You know what I'm saying? There's no such thing. But apparently, behind the wall, he was still, like, you know, fucking with his homies and all that shit, but he wasn't going around yelling out 60s, apparently, according to what OG Gumby was saying that he was a Muslim and all that stuff. Now, I'm gonna tell you like this, from personal experience. By religion and faith, I'm a Muslim, all right, Sunni. But the thing is that I do not practice that fully. Now, compared to my mom's and all that shit, my mom, you know, she's from the lands where that culture and religion came from and all that. So if you was to see her out and about, she would wear the, you know, the hijab and all that other stuff, right? Like, she breathes Islam. She breathes it, eats it, thinks it, sleeps it, lives it, right? Me is like this. I do the 5 pillars. If you know what the 5 pillars are and all that, then I do the 5 pillars, but when people see me, they don't see an Islamic individual. They see a Crip. And it's not something that I put out for the public because I care less how the public sees me and all that shit, this, that, third, but it's my demeanor. It's the way I carry myself, the way I've been carrying myself, the way my demeanor been, the way I walk, the way I talk, the way I act, the way I think, the way I eat, the way I sleep. You know what I'm saying? The way I breathe. You know what I'm saying? Like, I live this shit. I live this lifestyle. My mom's lived the Islamic lifestyle, but I am a Muslim by religion. But my lifestyle, my culture, the way I live my life. So anyway, and I ain't the only one in my family that does. But anyway, let's get right into it. So, now, here's where the test or the trial comes in. If you get caught and go to prison, right? This is where the question is and all that. Who are you going to roll with in prison? Are you going to roll with the Muslims, the Christians, etc., or are you going to roll with the Crips, the Bloods, Pirus, Hoovers, etc., and all that, right? Now, me personally, if I was to go to prison and all that, I'm going to roll with what I've been identified myself as, what others identified me as, what aligns with me more so, what I can familiarize with, basically what fits me, you know what I'm saying, as an individual. And that is what you see right behind me, of course. Why? Well, it goes back to that story I told y'all about how moms used to try to take me to Islamic school, right? And I went there when I was a kid and all that stuff, like little kid. This is before I even knew about banging and all that sort of stuff, She tried to instill the Islamic culture and all that stuff, principles and all that in me and all that. But now I got the 5 pillars and, all the other stuff and all, but some of the stuff that they were teaching and all that, and that was taught to me, I didn't really quite either understood it or it didn't align with me as an individual. Like, I just felt kind of out of place. Does that change me in terms of like my religion and faith and all that, spiritually and all that? No, I'm a Muslim, okay? But the way I live my life and all that, the way I, what I sleep, what I wake up, how I live my life is as a Crip. So if I was to go to prison and all that stuff, I'm going to be rolling with the Crips. And if a specific prison system is like segregated when it comes to the Crips, like say you have the Rollins over here, the neighborhoods over here, the gangsters over here and all that, well, I mean, my gang's the Harlem 30, so I'm going to obviously go with the Rollins and all that shit, you know what I'm saying? But then you have other individuals that go with, what they are familiar with and all that, and how they live their life. Basically, it's like this. However you was living your life on the outside and all that stuff, that's who you're supposed to roll with when you're on the inside. But the thing about Big U dropping his flag and all that, I'm not really going to get into that much and all that, because first of all, that is not my set, and that is not my G homie or anything like that, so I can't really speak on that. But what I can say is this. One, that can't really be spoken of unless you're from that set, or it's been more credible sources that have proved that and shown that. You know, saying some shit like that or whatever, that that's a very serious manner and all that. I mean, that's a serious allegation. You know what I'm saying? That's very serious. Like that's a serious claim and that's a serious allegation and that's, you know, that's a lot of politicking right there. All right. Two, it's easy to say that, but it's virtually impossible for real unless like you're like one of the founders and like highly reputable OGs. Now, Big U, you know what I'm saying? He's one of them highly reputable OGs and all that shit. But the thing is how can you be portraying as something for 15 years when 15 years ago you supposedly dropped your flag? But yet, all these things that came out about the 60s indictment and all this other shit. So, I mean, you know what I'm saying? Like I said, it's very impossible because everybody's still going to remember you as, you know what I'm saying, as a 60 Crip, let alone the kind of 60 Crip you was and all that. And that goes for everybody, you know what I'm saying? So that's what kills me when people always be like, oh, I'm not this and that no more. This, that, and third. Like I said, like, there ain't no such thing. Shut the fuck up, you know what I'm saying? Because, like, how you going to say that shit when you put a lot of pain behind that? You know what I'm saying? How many lives you impacted by it? You know what I'm saying? Like, ain't no such thing. You got to live with what you know what I'm saying, represent and all that. You reap what you sow. It is what it is. That's one of the consequences that comes with this shit. That's something you were supposed to think about before you jumped all in with this shit. You know what I'm saying? You're supposed to have your mind already made up and all that. But now in LA, you know what I'm saying? That's a different atmosphere and all that. You know what I'm saying? It's like you're from a gang out there, basically. You know, it's a neighborhood thing, you know what I'm saying? And it's like, okay, you know the saying, oh, you don't bang? Where your grandma live? That's what you is. It's no way around it, you know what I'm saying? I ain't gonna lie, that's the way I carry this shit as well, you know what I'm saying? But it's like ain't no way around it, basically, bottom line. You know? Once you are official with this shit, no matter Crip, Blood, Paru, Hoover, Folk, you know what I'm saying, Vice Lord, Rebel, any hate group, you know what I'm saying, etc., Skinhead, MS, Sereno, Norteño, all that. It's only active or inactive. There's no such thing as dropping flags for real. It's really not, unless special. How's the saying called? I forgot what that saying is called, but my Mafia Crip homie, said this once. But you know, unless it's like that, you know what I'm saying. But other than that, there's no such thing. That shit, you know what I'm saying, is to the day you die. Ain't no way around it. So, but yeah, that's a very serious allegation that OG Gumby brought to the table and all that. And you know, he had a couple of people that told him this, that, and third, and situations and all this shit. You know what I'm saying? So it's a lot of politicking. I'm gonna like when you watch the video, I'm gonna say that's a lot of politicking. All right. So this is something that can't be taken lightly and all that at all. But yeah, whatever you was on the outside and all that stuff, when you go to prison, that's who you're supposed to go with and all that. You know what I'm saying? If you've been out here, you know what I'm saying, conducting yourself as a full-fledged Muslim and all that, go with the Muslims. If you've been out here conducting yourself as a full-fledged Crip, you go with the Crips. Bloods, go with the Bloods. Parus, go with the Parus, and etc., etc. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, that's basically my take on it. You know, so we just gonna see what comes out with that shit because, like I said, it's more to come with that shit. But I'm just keeping it 3100. So that's my reaction to that video and all that. So comment your intakes and opinions on that situation. Meantime, keep your C's high, thumbs up, you know what I'm saying? And keep it rolling.